12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Among our top stories this morning, a man sent to the hospital after getting shot overnight. Max Massey has a live report with details.
Coming up, a deal almost done. I'm Andrew Dimbert in Washington with lawmakers' efforts to help everyday Americans battle coronavirus.
And live cam giving us a look outside. Another mild start to your day. Welcome to your Friday, everybody. We have super meteorologist Katie Blake in the house.
And good morning to you. It is 4:30 on this Friday, March 13th, and we have enough going on that we don't really need to be superstitious about Friday the 13th this year.
No, we aren't going to be suspicious. We're going to be happy that it's Friday.
We are going to be happy, and we're also happy that Katie Blake is with us this morning. Hi there, Katie.
Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. So good to be here with you guys. Yeah, Friday the 13th, maybe we'll just cancel it this year.
We're just going to pretend it's not a superstitious
happening.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's pretend it's Friday 13.5 or something.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Still warm and humid out there this morning. Not a whole lot has changed in the weather department. Temperatures low 70s, upper 60s. 68 right now at the airport, 67 at Stinson, mid 60s in the hill country. And as we zoom out a little bit, not a whole lot of change there either. Low 70s down closer to the coast in Del Rio. At this hour, you're still in the mid 70s, 74 degrees right now. Good news is no issues with visibility out there as of right now. I can't rule out a little bit of patchy fog developing here and there over the next several hours, similar to what we saw yesterday. But as of right now, visibility is just fine. Skies are overcast out there. No rain across the KSAT viewing area. There have been some severe storms up near the Concho Valley and San Angelo, but that is all going to stay well to the north of us. And we are looking at a cloudy but should be pretty rain-free morning here. Temperatures will be in the 60s, warm and muggy. So you may want to grab an iced coffee as you head out the door. I think it's a bit too warm for the hot coffee this morning. We'll take a look at what the rest of your day has in store along with the weekend. We've got better rain chances coming next week. Can't wait to tell you all about that in the full forecast. That'll be along in just a few minutes. But first, let's check on the roads traffic with Officer Nick Solis. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Katie, and good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your Friday morning. All right, so we're dealing with a couple of accidents out there. First one just saw still active. It's an active accident right near the AT&T Center Parkway and Annual Street. Give you more information on that one. Looks like it could be getting cleared up. And then we have this accident here near I-10 at the Y. It's going to be on southbound I-35 exits westbound I-10. This one's been there for a little while, but still there. Let's look at the trans guide. Here it is. Looks like that whole exit ramp from southbound I-35 to I-10 westbound is in fact shut down. I don't know how long it's going to be shut down, but there it is again. Sorry, my shoulder got in the way. I'll keep you updated on that. All right, Mark, Leslie, back to you.
Thank you, buddy. New this morning, one man in the hospital this morning after an early morning shooting.
Right now, investigators are working to try and figure out a lot of unanswered questions.
Max Massey following the story joins us live from downtown. Max, what is the latest on this overnight development?
Good morning, guys. Right now, police still trying to figure out who exactly was responsible for the shooting. The sergeant on the scene telling us that there were multiple shots fired just outside the hotel, and that's when they found a 40-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. Let's take a look at this scene from around 12:30 this morning. Now, what you're seeing on on your screen is just outside the Quality Suites in the 3600 block of Southeast Military. Now, we can see at least 7 evidence markers outside the hotel. Police say that the man was parked in front of the hotel side by side with another white Crown Victoria. That witnesses say that Crown Vic actually drove off after shots were fired, and it appears a hotel worker found the man shot in the parking lot. They then called 911. Right now, the only thing we know about this victim is there's a man in his 40s, and at last check, that victim transported to BAMC and is in critical condition. Mark, Leslie.
All right, thank you very much, Max. Well, here at San Antonio, the Fiesta Commission is going to hold a news conference today. The conference will be held at 10 a.m. outside the Commission office on Broadway. The topic will be Fiesta 2020 schedules, according to officials. As of Tuesday, the event was still going on, although the head of the Fiesta San Antonio Commission did acknowledge that the coronavirus concerns could eventually force it to be postponed, maybe even canceled. We will be live streaming the news conference on our homepage at KSAT.com.
House Democrats and the Trump administration are closing in on a deal to fight the crippling effects of coronavirus.
On the table, paid sick leave and other financial assistance for struggling families. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is in Washington with more on the measures being proposed.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill preparing proposals on the pandemic. After late-night discussions between Democrats and Republicans for coronavirus relief, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says a deal is close to being done. Some relief packages being discussed include paid sick leave, food assistance, and free COVID-19 testing. But there's still confusion, contention, and conflicting statements surrounding test availability in the U.S. The president insisting everything is going according to plan.
Frankly, the testing has been going very smooth.
While top health officials strongly disagree with that assessment.
The system is not really geared to what we need right now, what you are asking for. That is a failing.
And failing, yes.
It is a failing. I mean, let's admit it.
The president himself has not been tested despite interacting with a Brazilian government official at Mar-a-Lago who later came up positive for coronavirus. Other key leaders around the world coming close to COVID-19. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's wife has now tested positive. Here at home, lawmakers demand all Americans have access to free tests.
Do not let a lack of insurance worsen this crisis.
And overseas, the new European travel ban that goes into effect tonight, creating chaos at airports around the world as Americans try to get home.
We're trying to get back home to San Diego. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We were not sure if we would be able to get back in. I spent $3,000 for another flight.
And if Democrats and Republicans agree on a bill, which they fully are expected to, the money would come from that $8.3 billion emergency spending package that the president signed into law last week. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Airlines taking a major hit after the president's imposed travel ban. Norwegian Air announcing yesterday suspending over 4,000 flights and temporarily laying off up to half of its workforce. The news came after its stock plunged 22% Thursday. The airline already struggling with large debt and a cash crunch. They fly in and out of Austin Bergstrom, by the way. The president imposing new travel restrictions from Europe has forced airlines to cancel flights as coronavirus wipes out travel demand.
Well, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in isolation after his wife tested positive for the new coronavirus. Trudeau's wife issued a statement saying although she is experiencing uncomfortable symptoms of the virus, she will be back on her feet soon. Trudeau himself has no symptoms and is reported to be in good health. His doctors are advising he stay in isolation for 14 days.
KSAT.com will be hosting a live stream to get your San Antonio questions out about coronavirus. It'll start at 10:30 this morning. You can submit your questions right now. Go to KSAT.com, click on the coronavirus tab at the top of our page. You'll see a link to SAQ to get those questions answered. So it's going to be another busy news day. 437, 69 degrees.
Avoiding big crowds. That's what we've been told to do to prevent from getting coronavirus. But what if you don't feel good? Should you go to the doctor? Next on GMSA, tips on what you should do.
Outside with live cam. We have another story coming up. This is about the killer nurse Janine Jones. It looks like we've got victim impact statements. And then outside with live cam. You're watching GMSA on this early Friday morning. We'll be back.
We all want to know why, and I don't know if we ever will.
There is no telling what damage Janine Jones had caused.
A new charge against a convicted murderer known as the Angel of Death.
It's real people that have a real stake in it, and there was a lot of stakeholders.
I trusted you with my daughter.
It could have been anyone's child.
You should have to serve 1 year for every year of life you robbed from the babies that you murdered.
How could you do something like this to an innocent child?
A baby in a casket for anybody. It's hard, and to know that he was murdered.
We cannot, as a society, allow that to go unpunished.
This is one of those cases that you just don't forget.
A Killer's Care. That's streaming on all our platforms starting Monday.
Monday at 9, it looked like.
That's what it looked like, yes. 441 right now, 69 degrees.
New movies are coming out this weekend. Ahead on GMSA, more details on the controversial film that has everyone talking.
If we feel sick, but we're afraid to go to the doctor due to coronavirus, what do? We have some options of what you can do coming up.
Welcome back. It is now 4:44. Well, this morning, a secondary effect of the coronavirus and social distancing, schools closing. Parents are wondering how all of this will work. ABC's Becky Worley has details in your GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, call it distance learning. As schools around the country begin shutting down for the coronavirus, some districts are experimenting with online instruction.
How am I supposed to get them to concentrate when they're at home?
Schools in Seattle, New York, and San Francisco shutting down. Kids home, parents left scrambling. The Britton family in Northern California, with sons George in first grade and Ned in fourth, among the millions whose schools have closed their physical doors.
You ready? iPads on?
But in this case, kept their virtual doors open.
There's a meeting link for each class. We click on and the lesson's there, the teacher's there in real time.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll explain why the acronym PDF, playtime, downtime, and family time, could be the secret to getting through the next few weeks. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland.
We have been told that one of the best ways to control the fast spread of the new coronavirus is to avoid large gatherings and places where there are sick people.
But what if you don't feel well and you don't want to leave your house, even to go to the doctor's office or clinic? 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz says the answer may be telemedicine.
The new coronavirus has people keeping their distance. But what if you need to see your doctor for anything?
Telemedicine as an option is, it's been around for a while.
The doctor is in, and he's on my iPad, and an increasing demand.
It's not so much, I think, because people are concerned that they necessarily have COVID-19, but they definitely, whatever it is that they were going to seek medical care for in the first place, they much prefer to do it via telemedicine.
Dr. Jeremy Gebrish is CEO of Austin-based Remedy, where patients can be seen by smartphone, computer, or tablet 24/7. To check it out, I dialed in.
So once we go through a patient's symptoms, we want to see, do they presently have a fever?
There are plenty of telemedicine options. First, check with your personal doctor. Your insurance company may have a service such as TeleDoc. Some retail clinics and urgent cares are adding virtual visits too. There are limitations, but
we can tell a lot by looking at a person.
And tell if they need to be seen in person.
What all are you all anticipating here in the next week or couple of weeks going forward?
Well, we're definitely anticipating a big spike in the usage of virtual care.
In light of COVID-19, the CDC is encouraging the use of virtual medicine.
It's better for us as a community, for sick people to stay at home and not be out infecting others, or well people to not be in waiting rooms with other sick people.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Time for a check of traffic at 4:47.
Nick, how are the roadways looking?
Still working on those two accidents out there. The first one being at AT&T Center and Annual, and the other one being the first one, AT&T Center Annual right here. Looks like that's still an active scene. Hopefully we can get that one cleared up soon. And this accident, southbound I-35, the exit to westbound I-10, which is currently still shut down. Let's take a look at that again. Here it is, shut down still. So hopefully this accident clears up by the time it's time for rush hour traffic, because that's going to cause some congestion there. All right, taking a look outside 35 in Flores. Looks great. No cars on the roadway there. 35 in Martin, that's looking good. Very, very light traffic. And let's do one more. 35 in Florence came up again. It's looking really good.
Thank you, Nick. How's everybody doing this Friday? We made it.
Yeah,
we made it, everybody. We're going to do this together, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. It's a stressful time around the entire country right now. But you know what? We got to keep going and get through it.
Yeah, I'm here to distract you with weather.
I love your earrings.
Thank you. The weather team was talking yesterday. Like, we're a pleasant distraction during these trying
You guys
times.
are.
Sometimes you are the trying time, and it's good that right now you are not.
Yeah, we'll take it when we can.
Right?
We can get it. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's been such a warm and muggy week. That's not really going to change through the weekend or into next week. The thing that will start to change, though, better chances of rain working into your forecast, especially by early next week. High temperatures yesterday. Did you see this? 87 in San Antonio. Our average this time of year is in the low 70s. It's around 73 degrees. And that average high varies a degree or two across the KSAT viewing area, but it was unseasonably warm out there yesterday. We'll even call it hot down in Cotulla, 93 your high temperature, 91 in Carrizo Springs. I think we'll see temperatures down a couple of degrees today as compared to yesterday, just because we'll have more of that high cloud cover around consistently through the course of the day. By noon, we're in the low 70s. High temperatures today low to mid 80s down to the south. I think low 80s here in San Antonio around the Highway 90 corridor with mostly cloudy skies through midday, and it'll look mostly cloudy through the course of the day. I think we'll shake the low clouds as we get into the afternoon and evening, but still a good amount of cloud cover around today and no chance of rain in the forecast. Things will be staying warm through the weekend, but we'll get our temperatures down a bit closer to average as we head into late weekend and early next week, but we really don't have a big cool down in the forecast, and I'm expecting humidity to stay fairly high for the next week or so as well. Out there right now, cloudy skies, temperatures just shy of 70 degrees. Warm out there this morning. Dew points are in the low 60s, so humidity is high at 81% right now. Temperatures low 70s down closer to the coast, still 74 out in Del Rio. And our dew points are high for everyone. Everyone's got a dew point in the 60s, which means it's feeling pretty muggy out there. Our higher dew point numbers down closer to the coast, 70 in Beeville right now. A little bit of patchy fog will be possible over the next couple of hours, but I don't expect it to be too dense or widespread. And right now, the only visibility readings that are below 10 miles are LaGrange and College Station. So around the KSAT viewing area, things are doing just fine right now, but we do have cloudy skies out there, a mix of some lower and high cloud cover that has been continuing to stream in. It was there all day yesterday. You may have noticed just kind of a almost filtered sunshine look, kind of plenty of sunlight getting through, but not completely blue skies, and that was because of that high cloud cover that was streaming in yesterday, and it's still with us today. Some thunderstorms, some at one time severe thunderstorms up near the Concho Valley and I-20 corridor, but you'll notice a lot of this rain is well off to our north along I-20, really all the way into portions of the deep south there. There is a frontal boundary that is going to stall kind of right along the I-20 corridor today. It's not going to make it much farther south than that, so that's going to keep rain chances well to our north today. But there's also something else going on as you look off to the west. There's a lot of moisture, cloud cover, and rain being pumped into West Texas and the southwestern United States. That's because along with that front, we've got an upper level low pressure system that's working into kind of the Four Corners region this morning. That's going to continue to keep high cloud cover funneling into our part of Texas, and we'll keep rain chances around, but not really for us. As that upper level low moves off to the north, it's going to miss us, and that's going to keep good chances of rain out of our forecast, at least for the next couple of days, as high pressure kind of steers that upper level low and the better chances of rain away from us. As we get into Sunday, things do turn a little bit tricky. There will be another front dropping down into North Texas, and we have one kind of rogue forecast model that brings this down to San Antonio by Sunday morning. It cools us down a lot more, but that would also mean we'd have better chances of rain with that frontal boundary getting to us on Sunday. So we're going to watch that forecast for you. I want to watch this today and into the day tomorrow to see if maybe we cool you down a little bit more on Sunday. So we'll keep you updated there. In the meantime, warm and humid heading into the weekend. We'll keep you updated on that Sunday forecast with that front there. As we get into early next week, you'll notice scattered chances of rain arrive in the forecast, and we will definitely take that. That's for sure. The 60% chance of rain is the best I have for you right now on Tuesday. And that's better than I feel like what we've seen in a while. A little bit cooler with extra cloud cover.
I like how you do it like this.
I know.
I'm not going to promise you.
Fingers crossed. I really hope that pattern holds. And we'll talk more about that coming up later on, about why we have those better chances of rain next week.
Katie, thank you for the distraction.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you've got 6 minutes for weather in the next show. Just for fun.
Only 6?
Okay, 10.
All right, 10.
452, 69 degrees.
No Broadway shows this weekend. Next on GMSA, we have all the details about coronavirus and its impact on Broadway.
Let's take a pleasant dive into your morning lottery numbers. Pick 3, 254, a Fireball 2. Your daily 4 number is 6023, Fireball of 1.
And your Cash 5 numbers, 1, 19, 23, 25, 34. Texas two-step, 1, 4, 18, 20, 20 is the, I had to say it like that because it's 2020, but 20 is the bonus ball.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
New movies coming out this weekend, including The Hunt, that controversial film that everybody's been talking about.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Despite coronavirus concerns, there are new movies coming out this weekend, including the controversial violent satire The Hunt. The film's original launch last September was scrapped after outrage over the trailer, which showed liberal elites hunting red state Republicans for sport. The Hunt will compete for audience dollars with Bloodshot, Vin Diesel's superhero military thriller. Also opening the faith-based drama I Still Believe. But Pixar's Onward should spend a second weekend at number 1. As for The Hunt, executive producer Jason Blum tells me, sure, it's violent and sure, it's satirical, but it doesn't discriminate.
It obliterates the
liberal elites and also the right and the left, and that's what the movie is about. The movie is a satire poking fun at the extremes of both political parties.
He says at this point they've shown it to people on both sides of the political spectrum, and he hasn't heard of anyone being offended by the film's politics. Meanwhile, one thing you won't be going to see this weekend is a Broadway show. Theaters shut down at 5 p.m. yesterday evening indefinitely over coronavirus concerns, and Fast and Furious 9 has changed its release date from May to April of next year over worries about global box office turnout during the pandemic. And birthdays this Friday the 13th, Oscar and Grammy-winning rapper, actor, and activist Common is 48, while Emmy-winning actress Dana Delaney is 64. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
About 3 till 69 degrees.
We are talking spring break ideas moms share about healthy living.
The next half-hour news conference about Fiesta is happening later today. Max Massey will be live with details on what could be happening to one of San Antonio's most popular public events.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Will it happen or won't it? Max Massey will be live momentarily with the latest on Fiesta 2020 and what the organization is expected to talk about at an upcoming press conference.
And the coronavirus has everyone going to grocery stores. Supplies are running out. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi has the latest.
And the weekend just about here as spring break is wrapping up for some, maybe getting ready to begin for others. Katie Blake is in for Mike Osterhage, and she has your weekend forecast coming up. Good morning, everybody. It is 5 o'clock on your Friday, March 13th.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning, everybody. Katie Blake is in with a look at how your weekend's going to shape up weather-wise. I know we were talking there were chances of rain this weekend. Are they pretty good or not so good?
Okay. Meh. We're watching the possibility of a front trying to slide in here on Sunday, and that would maybe help us out with rain chances a little bit, but there's still some uncertainty in the forecast where that is concerned, and we'll get to that later on in the full forecast. But did you check out high temperatures yesterday? Man, it was warm out there, even hot in some spots. We'll just call it hot. For this time of year, it was hot yesterday. 87 in San Antonio, our average this time of year, just 73 degrees. This morning we've cooled down a little bit, but it is still very warm out there. Just shy of 70 at the airport, 66 in Divine, 66 degrees up in Canyon Lake as well. Our dew points are also in the 60s, so humidity is on the high side this morning. Haven't seen any low visibility, so that is good. I can rule out a little bit of patchy fog developing over the next couple of hours, but if it does, it's not going to be too widespread and won't give you any issues. Just know you're stepping out into very warm, muggy conditions this morning. So as you're heading out, maybe getting your coffee, may want to go with the iced coffee this morning since it is so warm. We'll see temperatures staying in the upper 60s, low 70s for the next several hours. Cloudy skies, warm and muggy. A nice little breeze, though, winds 5 to 15 miles per hour as you get ready to head out the door this morning. We'll talk more about that potential front on Sunday and better rain chances as we get into the early part of next week coming up in your full forecast. That'll be along in just a few minutes. Before we get there, though, time saver traffic with Officer Nick Solis. Good morning.
Good morning, Katie. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your Friday. All right, so one accident we had on AT&T Center Parkway in Annual has cleared up, but we're still working on this accident here. It looks like this accident shut down the southbound IH-35 exit to westbound I-10. We still have some video of that. It's TransGuide still showing it is in fact still shut down. Hopefully it opens up soon. All right, let's take a look at some drive times, my favorite thing. All right, 35 southbound from the northeast side of 1604 to downtown, 12 minutes. And if you're 35 northbound from the southwest side of 1604 to downtown, it's 12 minutes as well. So good times there. All right, taking a look outside, 1604 in Bandera. Man, y'all guys are really going to the speed limit there. Good job. 35 and 10 in Hackberry. Not a car on the road. Everything's looking very smooth there. 281 in Winding Way was good. 90 in Medillo Creek. Things are looking great all around the city. All right, Mark, Leslie, back to you.
Well, as a precaution taken to stop the coronavirus around the world and the country and around Texas, large-scale events that draw crowds are being canceled.
And today we expect to get some sort of clarity when it comes to Fiesta's future. Max Massey joins us live downtown. Max, I know it hasn't happened yet, but do we have any idea what this press conference is going to say later today?
Good morning, guys. Well, that press conference is set for 10 a.m. just outside of the Fiesta Commission's headquarters on Broadway. And Mark, to answer your question, so far city officials really not showing their hand. This is what we know as of this morning. So on Tuesday, San Antonio's biggest party was still set to go forward, although the head of the Fiesta San Antonio Commission acknowledged on Tuesday that coronavirus concerns could eventually force Fiesta to be postponed or even canceled. Now, today we expect to hear from people like Mayor Ron Nirenberg and the Fiesta San Antonio Commission President, Jeannie Travis. And the Commission's Executive Director, Amy Shaw, told us earlier this week, quote, "I would hate to see Fiesta canceled altogether. You know, postponement would be a much better alternative," end quote. And then a statement from the city was sent to us on Wednesday. City officials are monitoring the coronavirus situation and, quote, "have not advised event organizers to postpone or cancel any events. Event cancellations will only be considered and implemented if that situation calls for it, and Fiesta is still several weeks away." Now, guys, a lot has happened since we got that memo. As of now, Fiesta is set for April 16th to the 26th, but we expect to hear a lot more and have more clarity after that 10 a.m. press conference. And as usual, we will be streaming it live on our KSAT app and, of course, KSAT.com. Mark, Leslie.
Thank you very much, Max. Due to coronavirus concerns, the McNay press conference that was expected to happen Monday of next week has now been postponed. The head of communications and marketing for one of San Antonio's larger art museums, Rachel Trevino, says, quote, "Out of an abundance of caution and care, the McNay will be postponing Monday's 10 a.m. press conference." Also said she will soon reach out with a rescheduled date. Mayor Ron Nirenberg said was set to announce the Museums for All program accessibility milestone at Monday's presser. Latest on the last-minute scramble to find supplies here in Texas and around the country. Some stores running out of daily necessities.
One product flying off the shelves, toilet paper. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi has details.
This morning, coronavirus fears pushing people to panic buy. Scenes like this playing out at big box stores across the country. A herd of consumers filing in as they stockpile canned goods, bottled water, and particularly toilet paper. Major retailers like Amazon, Walmart, and Target struggling to keep many toilet paper brands in stock online and in stores. Overnight on eBay, this package of 12 rolls being auctioned off for a starting bid of $70. At this Costco in Brooklyn, tensions running high as people pack the checkout line. Experts calling it fear contagion, when people see other people reacting during a crisis, then engage in similar behavior.
There is an effect, what we call the herding effect, which is when you see consumers down an aisle of a supermarket crowding around shelves of toilet paper and purchasing it. There is an element of where you actually do get drawn into that, a psychology where you feel like you may miss out.
Another concern? Price gouging.
$6.99? Really?
At this dollar store in New Jersey, law enforcement responding after shoppers found cleaning supplies 7 times the normal price of items in the store.
It's horrible. You got people that's on a fixed income that can't afford this stuff.
In the meantime, here's what health experts say you should be stocking your pantry with. Food that will last and keep you healthy, like canned fruit and frozen vegetables, grains like pasta and crackers, also frozen dinners. And don't forget to treat yourself. Dark chocolate will stay good for up to 2 years. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
You can always head on over to our website at KSAT.com, where you can find everything you need to know, the very latest about coronavirus.
We have dedicated the tab at the top of the website to all things coronavirus. All you have to do is click on the tab and it will take you to everything you need to know. That includes canceled events, changes at universities, restrictions on travel, and cases across Texas.
8 minutes past the hour, 69 degrees.
Still to come, important news about what Apple is doing to protect customers from the coronavirus. It's coming up in your Tech Bites.
And after the break, some more fun from a couple of local moms and why they made it their mission to teach others to live healthily, and simply.
And LiveCam giving us a look outside. We have a little chance around in the forecast for the weekend. Not great. It's meh, as Katie Blake said, but at least there's a chance. Welcome back. It's 11 minutes after 5. All week we've been sharing fun things that you can do with your kids.
Ideas have come from a couple of local moms here in the San Antonio area. They've made it their mission to encourage other moms to live healthy and simply.
But it all began with news about sudden health conditions.
From high school to raising children, these two best friends have gone through a lot together, but nothing could have prepared them for life-changing news.
I basically have Stargardt's, which essentially my body is attacking my retinas.
This is what helps you see. It's your central vision, and without it, life could be difficult to navigate.
Essentially, I'm going blind.
I got diagnosed with something called Wegener's,
a vascular condition that limits blood flow to important organs. And while there's no cure, that didn't stop them from taking care of their bodies.
I started using food to take care of myself.
Carol Livingston began to notice an improvement in her vision, and even her doctor was surprised. It's a small part of what made their online community of support, called Simply Whole Moms, come to life.
Both of us struggle with health concerns, and it felt really overwhelming to us to be able to eat healthy and mother when you're living with a disease that's really affecting your day-to-day life. There are times when you're super discouraged.
Not only was their vision to help others live a healthy lifestyle, it's geared towards mothers who might be feeling overwhelmed. And helping each other out plays a big role.
We've been able to support each other on our journeys, even though they're different.
They've done such a great job this week.
Yeah, very inspiring and a lot of good information for parents.
Right now, we are at 5:13 on your Friday morning, hovering right around 70 degrees.
Still to come, how crews are working to keep the coronavirus away from the International Space Station.
And after the break, a convenience store throwing its hat in the battle for best chicken.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema, or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. That's a difference you can feel. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Your time now, 5:16. In your morning consumer headlines, move over Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, and Wendy's. A popular convenience store says they are going to enter the chicken fray. This week, 7-Eleven announced it's opened a chicken and biscuit restaurant in New York. The Raise the Roost in-store restaurant includes on its menu chicken sandwiches, wings, and fried chicken tenders. The food is both made to order and put out as grab-and-go options.
In your morning Tech Bites, hackers are now using fears about the coronavirus to access your information. Really. ABC's Kenneth Moten and Mona Kassar Abdi have more.
In today's Tech Bites, hackers using the coronavirus crisis to steal your information.
Reports say hackers are uploading fake maps showing the virus's hotspots. Once the map is open, users are redirected to a site asking for your personal data. The maps published by Johns Hopkins University is an example of a non-malicious tracker. Apple is limiting try-ons for AirPods and Apple Watches to protect consumers and workers from COVID-19.
Employees are being told not to encourage try-ons. Only shoppers who make a request will be allowed to try on the devices. The company has also reduced the number of chairs in stores to promote social distancing. Finally, keeping the virus away from the International Space Station.
One American astronaut and 2 Russians are prohibited from leaving their training center in Russia. They're not flying to space until April 9th.
Space might be the safest place right now.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
5:18.
There's at least one big problem on the roadways. Let's get details from Officer Nick Solis.
Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, so good news. I-10 westbound from 35 South is now open. So once again, I-10 westbound from 35 South opened up. Good news, especially coming towards rush hour traffic. All right, we have a new accident though. This one's going to be westbound Northwest Loop 410 at Vance Jackson. Looks like a 1-vehicle accident there on the number 1 lane. Don't have any TransGuide footage of it yet, but just keep that in mind if you are heading 410 westbound towards the I-10 interchange. All right, let's take a look at some drive times. If you're on 1604 eastbound from US Highway 281 at 35, 9 minutes. And if you're on 1604 westbound from IH 35 to US 281, 8 minutes. Good times there. All right, Trans Guide. Flores, I-35 in Flores looking great right now. No cars on the roadway there. 35 in Maine, that's looking great as well. Very light traffic. And 37 and I-10 right there in the southeast side is looking good.
Thank you, sir.
So, got any big plans? You're working this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, but
well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We get to watch you and find out what the weather's going to be like.
It's like one of those jobs, Katie, where like, wait, they pay us to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right?
it's not bad. I can talk about the weather all day, so it's really not.
Yeah. Have you loved
feel?
weather since you were an itty bitty little kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature nerd.
Were you like, oh, my science fair project, clouds, or something like that?
I made my parents sign me up for weather camp. So
I think that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Well, that's cool.
While everyone else was going to like volleyball camp, I was
Right.
like weather camp. So
The
Well, that's
sneaker
why
fits.
you're so good at what you do.
Fun fact. Yeah. Well, thank you. And the weather is going to stay pretty quiet through the weekend. And the morning commute, you saw roadways are looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit of patchy fog develops over the next couple of hours. Did you just sneeze? Is it the? Oh, I thought I was going to blame the oak because oak is such a big issue right now. And of course, as soon as we get that pollen count out later on this morning, right around 7 o'clock or so, we'll have it out for you. We'll send it on the KSAT weather app, and you'll also be able to find it on social media. So things will be staying warm and muggy again today and really through the weekend. A few weekend showers possible, better chances into Sunday, but even better chances of some scattered rain as we get into next week as our weather pattern changes up just a little bit. Very warm out there this morning. Del Rio, you dropped down 2 degrees. You're at 72 right now. It is 71 in Gonzales. Just shy of 70 degrees here in San Antonio. Our dew points are also high in the 60s, so we're in muggy territory there. And keep in mind our dew points, that's the measure of moisture in the air. The higher these numbers are, the more humid it feels outside. As we head into today, these numbers are going to stay elevated in the 60s. That'll also be the case into the day on Saturday. So overall, staying very muggy and feeling spring-like as we head into the weekend. The only kind of really uncertainty in the forecast as we head into the weekend is one of our higher resolution models is bringing a weak frontal boundary down into our northern counties, down through central Texas. And what this would do is bring our dew points down a few degrees as we get into Sunday, also cool us down a little bit as we get into Sunday. And this frontal boundary could also act as a spark for some additional shower activity. Now, we just have one forecast model bringing this through, which means forecast confidence is still fairly low. But if we get some other forecast models to get on board later today, even into tomorrow, that could mean a slightly cooler day on Sunday and maybe even some more showers around. So we're watching Sunday's forecast for you really carefully, and of course we'll keep you updated. Saturday will for sure be very warm and muggy. Just a 10% chance of a stray shower on Saturday. There's going to be a good amount of rain off to our north as we get into the weekend, into North Texas, up closer to the I-20 corridor. So better chances of several inches of rain up closer to the Metroplex and into East Texas. But here in South Texas, we are likely going to be left pretty high and dry for most of the weekend. Rain chances will steadily increase though, and once we get to Monday, we've got a 40% chance of some scattered showers, non-severe storms, and then rain chances look to peak on Tuesday with a 60% chance of rain. Well, why the better rain chances next week? We'll see the jet stream flow shake up just a little bit, and we'll have these what we call short waves or very weak disturbances moving through the jet stream flow as we get into Monday of next week. So Monday we get one short wave moving through, Tuesday another, and this will keep our weather pattern fairly messy into next week. That's why rain chances will be a little bit better. The deal with these short waves though, they're kind of ill-defined little pieces of lift or rain making energy, so it's a little hard, especially several days out, to pinpoint exactly what time of day it will be raining. So really what we're looking at next week, just to get you prepared, some scattered light rain, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, really each day next week. Not all day, but it's a possibility each day as we get into next week as some of these little ripples in the jet stream flow move overhead. As for your day today, staying warm, staying muggy, high temperatures, low 80s this afternoon. We'll have plenty of low clouds through the first part of the day, losing some of those low clouds this afternoon, but that high cloud cover that we saw yesterday, that'll hang around all day today. And here's a look at your forecast into the weekend. Warm and muggy. We'll keep you updated on that chance of maybe some slightly cooler air as we get into Sunday. We'll see what that frontal boundary wants to do, but of course we'll keep you updated next week, looking better with some scattered showers and non-severe storms. The official start of spring is next Thursday, but it's felt like spring already for
Kind of almost feels like summer.
Days. Yeah, we're pushing late spring now.
Yeah, I know.
It was so pleasant last night. I think everybody in my neighborhood went to walk their dogs simultaneously. It's like, okay, now it's time. Everybody gone? Okay, we're going.
Yeah.
You should have taken a little video of that. That's kind of cute.
I'll do it next time. 523, 69 degrees.
Just to have the impact the coronavirus is having on the entertainment world, touching everything from movies to Broadway. We are tracking the latest.
The coronavirus prompting social distancing, resulting in everything from Disneyland closing to the cancellation of March Madness.
And there have been plenty of changes lately in the entertainment world, too. CNN's David Daniel has that in your Hollywood Minute.
I don't know why you came all the way up here. There's nothing left.
The movie release schedule got quite a shakeup as studio executives envisioned theaters emptied by fears of the coronavirus. Paramount postponed its release of A Quiet Place Part 2 just 8 days before its scheduled debut to sometime later this year. Disney delayed Mulan, which had been due out March 27th, to an unspecified future date. And Universal pushed back Fast and Furious 9 from May 22nd to April of 2021. Plenty of music venues will be empty in the days ahead. Concert promoters Live Nation suspended all touring shows, affecting such artists as country singer-songwriter Jason Aldean, genre-jumping rapper Post Malone, and recent Grammy winner Billie Eilish. And we've seen the lights go out on Broadway. With New York under a state of emergency, all Broadway shows have suspended performances until April 13th. Just 10 days before the cutoff for eligibility for the Tony Awards. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
My one and only niece was supposed to go see Billie Eilish in concert in Charlotte, North Carolina last night, and it did not happen. So
Aww. There'll be another chance.
There will be another chance. It's the reality of things. And everybody's just being safe, taking precautions. 528, 69 degrees.
Coming up in our next half hour, we're covering the coronavirus from all angles, including a new testing method that involves a drive-through.
Plus, local impact. So many events being canceled, including the Valero Texas Open. What you need to know, we will have the very latest coming up here. Bottom of the hour. You're watching GMSA. Good morning. It is 5:31 on your Friday, March 13th. We're just going to focus on Friday, March 13th, not Friday the 13th.
Well, you just did.
Well, I was pointing out the difference this year. That in this instance, we're not going to focus on that at all.
We decided it's 13.5 instead.
That's right. Yes, it's a new version, and we're not canceling it. We're going to see now how traffic is looking with Officer Nick Solis.
Yeah, it's one accident right now I'm working on. It's, I'm not working on, my brother's Blue are. But it's 410 westbound at Vance Jackson. Only one right now on the screen.
And
y'all are a team. You can say we are working.
Okay, appreciate your brothers and sisters in blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Nick.
Katie, how's the Friday looking weather-wise?
Pretty the same as yesterday.
Pretty much the same. We're in that pattern.
Not a whole lot of change. The humidity will not be going anywhere, and we've also got oak issues.
I feel the oak.
Noticed something that Sarah Spivey brought this up the other night with all of the issues with COVID-19. You may be feeling bad, but just know that you may be feeling bad because of the oak issue here. It was high yesterday with a count of 720. This is yesterday's pollen count. We'll get today's count out around 7 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I get it in, we'll send it out via the KSAT weather app, so make sure you have that on your phone. It'll also be on KSAT.com and on our social media pages, so we'll get it out to you as soon as we get it. But we expect oak to stay high again today. We are rapidly approaching the peak of oak season, which is late March, early April. So here's the 15th. We're almost there. So we're approaching the peak of oak season. So just know that you may continue to just feel not so great, and it may be likely because of oak season here in South Texas. Otherwise, it is warm out there this morning. Temperatures mid to upper 60s, near 70 degrees in a lot of spots. And we'll see skies stay overcast through the morning hours. Temperatures hovering in the upper 60s and low 70s. As we get closer to midday, early afternoon, we'll start to see the low cloud cover break up a little bit once again, like we've done the past couple of days. But we're going to hold on to more of those high, thin clouds even into the afternoon and evening hours. So I expect skies to just look mostly cloudy through the day today. High temperatures, low to mid 80s this afternoon, right around 80 degrees here in San Antonio with a nice little breeze out of the southeast, but that keeps humidity high for your Friday. We also expect things to stay very muggy this weekend, but rain chances gradually increasing, and by next week, they do not look too shabby. We'll talk about those rain chances coming up in your full forecast, but now for another look at the roadways, closer look at the roads. Officer Nick Solis. Nick.
Thanks, Katie. Well, I hope you're having a great start to your Friday morning, everyone. So we are off to a semi-good start. A lot of the accidents we had earlier in the morning are now clear, but we are currently working on this accident. The only one I have right now I can see, it's going to be westbound Northwest Loop 410 at Vance Jackson. It's a one-vehicle accident. As you can see with all the green, it's not really affecting traffic right now, so that's the good news, and hopefully this one gets cleared up here very soon. All right, some drive times now. If you're on eastbound 151 to 1604 to Highway 90, we got 9 minutes. And if you're on 90 eastbound from 1604 to 35, 11 minutes. So still really good times there. Trans Guide now, 1604 and Kyle still looking good. State Highway 151 and 410 was looking good. 10 in Wurzbach, traffic starting to pick up just a little bit now. And 10 at the Y where we had that closure earlier is now open. All right, Mark, Leslie, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nick. A major blow to the San Antonio sports scene and for local charities. Originally, the PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan told us that the Players' Championship, which was already underway, and the Valero Texas Open would be played without spectators. But later in the day yesterday, the tour sent out a tweet confirming the rest of the Players' Championship and all events through the Texas Open have been canceled. And here's a portion of the PGA Tour's statement released. Quote, "We have pledged from the start to be responsible, thoughtful, and transparent with our decision process. We did everything possible to create a safe environment for our players in order to continue the event throughout the weekend, and we are endeavoring to give our fans a much-needed respite from the current climate. But at this point, the situation continues to rapidly change. The right thing to do for our players and fans was to pause." The Valero Texas Open has been playing at its current location, the JW Marriott Resort and TPC course, since the year 2010. Coronavirus has put the world on hold, and a number of those infected with the disease continues to grow on a daily basis. Most especially in the U.S. don't know if they've got
most in the U.S. don't know they have it.
Don't know it because of a lack of testing. Thank you for clarification.
But there is a method that can provide answers without having to go to the doctor's office. CNN's John Lawrence reports.
There's no reason to sugarcoat it. The coronavirus has taken over.
This is the worst public health crisis for a generation.
The disease is spreading rapidly across the globe. The U.S. is among the countries seeing a more than 33% daily increase in case numbers.
You know, this thing multiplies. The experts we've consulted says that it will multiply every six days.
Health officials say the best way to combat the coronavirus is to take protective measures. However, the U.S. has issues with getting people tested.
We're not set up for that. Do I think we should be? Yes. But we're not.
But there's a new method of testing that's not only helping people, but also helping protect healthcare workers.
So we're just going to swab the back of the throat. So this next one's going to go down through the nose. So if I can have you open your mouth, breathe through your mouth.
A number of drive-through testing sites are popping up in cities like Rochester, Minnesota. In Denver, a long line of drivers getting checked. Likewise in San Francisco. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says the state's first public drive-through testing facility debuts Friday. Residents of New Rochelle who are under quarantine will get tested first. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says lawmakers are close to an agreement on a coronavirus relief package. Pelosi hopes to have the legislation ready for a House vote today. It reportedly involves enhancements to paid leave, food assistance, and unemployment insurance. The bill would also beef up state Medicaid funding to help with the crisis, and it would make coronavirus testing free for anyone who needs it. Pelosi says it's the first of multiple bills Congress is preparing in order to address the disease.
This morning, Japan's Olympic minister brushed off U.S. President Donald Trump's suggestion the Tokyo 2020 Games be postponed by 1 year because of the coronavirus outbreak. He says, quote, the International Olympic Committee and Organizing Committee are not considering cancellation or postponement. Absolutely not at all. Towards the opening of the July 24th, we are pursuing preparations towards holding a safe and secure event. Japan has reported more than 1,200 of the new virus cases, including the total from the Diamond Princess cruise ship.
Well, as more people start to work from home in the coronavirus outbreak, because of the coronavirus outbreak, those who live a different lifestyle are being hit hard financially. We're talking about rideshare drivers. A few drivers in Washington state say it's been pretty tough paying their bills, and the virus has taken a big chunk out of their income. The Uber and Lyft companies say they are handing out cleaning supplies to drivers and will offer compensation for any who might fall ill to COVID-19. The drivers' union sent letters asking for relief from state and local officials, and Uber and Lyft say they could be facing an economic crisis soon.
Back here at home, here on KSAT.com, we'll be hosting a live stream to get your San Antonio questions about coronavirus. It will start at 10:30 this morning. We originally had a second one scheduled at 2:30, but that one has been canceled. You can submit your questions starting right now. Go to KSAT.com, click on the coronavirus tab at the top of the page. You'll see a link to SAQ. Get your coronavirus questions answered.
Well, we are following all the latest details concerning the primary election last week after a local commissioner called for an investigation into the results. Precinct 4 Commissioner Tommy Calvert wrote a letter to Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf asking that independent forensic investigators the court called for be hired by the next commissioner's court meeting. The results for the recent election were delayed for hours. We were told that was due to a software issue which caused the new $12.5 million voting system to crash 3 times on March the 3rd. All problems Calvert pointed to in his letter that he says warrants an investigation.
We will continue to follow that story. 5:39, 69 degrees.
You love Celina? Keep it right here. Still to come, simple ways you can connect with her.
And a local police chief saved after collapsing at a school track meet. After the break, the nurse who's now being called a hero.
And Live Cam giving us a peek outside. We made it to Friday, everybody. We're happy it's Friday. Spring breakers probably are not.
No, not at all. High five, we made it to the end of the week, but with an elbow.
Yes, elbow, all the way. Or fist bump. Welcome back. It's now 5:42. A life saved in a matter of minutes, 15 minutes to be exact. Medina ISD Police Chief Abel Devora collapsed during a junior high track and field meet 2 weeks ago. He was dead for 15 minutes. ER nurse Amy Filippi was in the crowd and was quick to react, bringing him back to life. His next memory was waking up in the hospital in pain.
The main thought in my head was, I got to save this man for his family. Like, I just have to keep going.
It's kind of my kick in the butt that wake me up, I guess, to realize I've got to be a lot better.
5 days later, he had quintuple bypass surgery. Filippi urges people to learn basic CPR and how to use an AED. It truly is an amazing story. You can watch it all on KSAT.com. Just look for it on the home.
Yeah, those automatic external defibrillators are just about everywhere these days.
Most businesses have them.
Yeah, most of them do.
Sporting events usually have them too.
Pretty convenient locations.
15 minutes, he was dead. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's a lucky man.
Another miracle, another guardian angel in waiting. Well, this time she showed up.
She was there.
5:43, 69 degrees.
Box office taking a big hit from the coronavirus, but several new movies are still opening this weekend. We'll have previews coming up. There are 3 new movies opening in wide release this weekend.
With rising coronavirus concerns, just how many people will head to theaters to see them?
CNN's David Daniel looks at the box office forecast.
You're going to be healed. What if I'm not supposed to be healed? Don't say that.
I Still Believe dramatizes the true story of Christian singer-songwriter Jeremy Camp. Box office watchers think the inspirational faith-based film will lead the pack of new movies, earning up to $15 million and possibly even top Onward for the weekend title.
What is this place?
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you got yourself killed.
Vin Diesel's latest movie is Bloodshot, based on the comic book about a soldier given superpowers through nanotechnology. The action thriller is looking at a $10 million debut. The Hunt finally reaches theaters. The movie about people being hunted for sport was supposed to debut last September, but real-life shootings and the film's subject matter prompted Universal to delay its release. Analysts expect an opening weekend worth $8 to $9 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Are you a fan of the Queen of Tejano, Celina Quintanilla? Well, now you can go to all places the singer has a connection to here in San Antonio. In our page, KSAT.com, you can find a map of San Antonio pointing to all the places you might be interested in visiting and why. KSAT not only compiled a list of spots, but also explains why it has a connection to Celina. Celina would have turned 49 this year on April 16th.
I want to remind you there will be a Siempre Celina celebration hosted by KSAT at the Rustic coming up April 7th, 5:30 p.m. Tickets are now on sale. Also watch KSAT's 1-hour Siempre Celina celebrating the legacy of Queen of Tejano special on April 12th, 9 p.m. here on KSAT, KSAT.com, and on our ever-growing streaming app.
It's time to check on the roadways once again. We've had some busy spots this morning.
Nick?
Yeah, Mike. So everything's going good right now. Not too much, just that one accident we're waiting on to get cleared up, and that's going to be here at Northwest Loop 410 and Vance Jackson. So right here, this accident's there. Looks like the wrecker is on scene and things are getting cleared up there. All right, some drive times for you. If you're on 35 from the city of New Braunfels to 1604, 14 minutes. And if you're on 35 southbound from Loop 1604 to downtown, 12 minutes, so good times there. All right, let's take a look at the trans guide. We got 10 at Wurzbach, that's looking good, right on the northwest. 10 at the Y, that's opened up and flowing smoothly now. What else do we have here? 35 in Alamo, that's looking good. And let's see, one more, 281 in Hildebrand, looking great. Yeah,
almost like a dope, but a doop.
I meant to go for the drum roll, but I got cut off by the
video. Got a do and a meh over here.
Yeah. Now we got to see what Katie Blake has.
As the morning progresses, the words will come, right?
Yeah,
they will.
As we wake up and have more coffee.
Right. It's Friday. It has to be entertaining.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Weather's not going to change much today, not going to change much over the weekend either. Not until early next week we'll start to see some better chances of rain. No issues with visibility this morning. That is the good news. The visibilities that are below 10 miles, that's out of the KSAT viewing area. So no issues with fog this morning, and that is nice. And I think part of that is because our wind speeds are a bit too elevated to see a whole lot of widespread fog develop. Winds are out of the southeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour this morning. And you really need very light winds, even calm winds, to get a lot of fog to develop. So I think the little breeze we have out there this morning is keeping visibility issues from developing, but that is a-okay. Temperatures just before the 6 o'clock hour are generally in the upper 60s, even low 70s. 70 degrees in New Braunfels, 64 in Kerrville, 68 in Pleasanton. So very, very warm for this time of year, and humidity is high, right around 95% here in San Antonio. Also high down near the coast, up in the 90% range there in the hill country. I can't rule out a little bit of patchy fog as we get into the next couple of hours. Spots where winds may drop down to close to 5 miles per hour, but shouldn't be an issue for your morning commute. A lot of cloud cover this morning, though. Temperatures hovering in the upper 60s and low 70s. As we get closer to midday, we'll start to see some of that low cloud cover break up just a bit, and that'll help to warm us up. And by lunchtime, I think we're in the low to mid 70s for most of us. So plenty of cloud cover out there. This is a mix of some lower clouds and also some of the high cloud cover that really started to fill in yesterday. So we had blue sky right around midday yesterday, but then as some of that high cloud cover began to move in from the west, skies kind of turned grayish, and so we lost the blue sky effect. Still some sunlight getting through that warmed us up into the upper 70s, but good amount of cloud cover out there, and that will continue today. No rain here in South Texas. Up in North Texas, though, they've got a lot of rain there for the morning commute, extending into the Panhandle and even portions of Oklahoma. So why are they getting in on the rain and not us? Well, there's a frontal boundary that extends all the way up to the Great Lakes, but that's draped kind of right near the I-20 corridor, helping to spur some rain for parts of the northern portion of Texas this morning. But off to the west, there's also another weather factor here, and that's an upper level low that's spinning over Southern California right now. This upper level low is what continues to push a lot of that high cloud cover into our area here in South Texas, but also some rain associated with that upper level low across portions of the desert southwest there. That upper level low will move closer to Texas today and into tomorrow morning, but unfortunately it's not going to move due east across Texas. It's actually going to miss us to the north, so that will keep better chances of rain this weekend away from San Antonio and in the northern portion of the state. Part of the reason that low misses us to the north, we've got an upper level high pressure system there in the Gulf of Mexico that's just kind of steering that rain-making energy away from South Texas. So we'll keep a good amount of cloud cover around this weekend, but not a whole lot in terms of rain chances. The only kind of variable that I'm watching really closely in the forecast this weekend is the possibility that a weak cool front could drop down into central Texas and our far northern counties as we get into Sunday morning. That would help us out with maybe some additional shower activity, but it could also pull in some slightly cooler and drier air for the second half of the weekend. So that's something we'll be watching closely for you. And I'll be watching forecast model runs that come in this morning and later today. And if we need to tweak the weekend forecast, we will definitely do that. So keep checking in with us on your KSAT weather app. We'll keep you updated as far as that Sunday forecast is concerned. Today, we've got a lot of cloud cover for you. Very warm once again with high temperatures back in the low 80s, feeling very humid all day as well. Stray shower possible tomorrow, 30% chance of a shower or non-severe storm as we get into Sunday. Potentially a little bit cooler if that frontal boundary can drop down closer to us. As we get into the early and middle part of next week, though, notice better chances of rain. Scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms working into the forecast as a series of little upper-level disturbances moves in overhead. The good thing with those types of disturbances, they don't yield concern for severe weather.
Right.
There could certainly be some rumbles of thunder, but really what we're just looking at is some scattered rain, which we really need.
And we are heading that time of year where we kind of need to be on the lookout for severe.
Yes, and that's more of a concern well to our north.
Okay.
So we're not worried about that as we get into next week. We just need some rain.
Yeah, bring the rain on.
Yes,
Okay,
thanks.
fair enough. Thank you, Katie. Right now we're at 5:54, 69 degrees.
After the break, we're talking about a big honor for Queen Elizabeth.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we have full team coverage from all over the country. We'll continue what you've been digging into, these stunning developments in the coronavirus outbreak. Growing concern about the economy and jobs, probably paramount right now, with so many businesses closing down. The lights all around us here, out on Broadway. Sports leagues suspending their season, Disney and Disneyland closing their gates after the Dow had its worst day in more than 3 decades since the Black Monday crash in 1987. Dr. Ashton's on call answering your questions. You'll see it on GMA.
Queen Elizabeth has become the fourth longest reigning monarch ever. On Wednesday, the 93-year-old royal surpassed Mayan King Pakal by serving the British monarchy for 68 years, 34 days. King Louis XIV of France still has top honors. He ruled for 72 years, 110 days. Queen Elizabeth became the longest ruling monarch in UK history September 2015 when she passed her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who spent 63 years on the throne. Remarkable. We're about 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Coming up on Good Morning San Antonio on your Friday, the latest on what's to come for Fiesta this year. We'll tell you what we can expect from city leaders and organizers today. They're expected to make a big announcement amid public health concerns regarding the coronavirus. That's coming up next on GMSA. As we go to break, you're looking live at one of the cameras around town from our friends at TransGuide. You're watching KSAT Live. We'll be right back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts
of this
right
year's Fiesta
now.
and the plan for Texas moving forward to combat the coronavirus. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. We have a preview of both key press conferences happening later today.
We have new details out of Cibolo after an all-day police standoff. We'll tell you who's in custody and the charges they're facing.
And taking a look outside, welcome to your Friday, everybody. Another mild start. We have super meteorologist Katie Blake in the house with your weekend forecast.
And good morning to you. It is Friday, March 13th.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning, everybody. Yeah, it's mild again this morning. I have a feeling it's going to get pretty warm again today.
It was extraordinarily mild yesterday, and you were talking a little bit earlier about how that high cloud deck kind of moved in and obscured the sunshine for a little bit. You call it filtered sunshine, right?
I can't take credit for that. I've heard Adam Caskey say that
That's
before,
okay.
But it's a great way to describe it because we saw a little bit of blue sky through lunchtime, and then those high thin clouds moved in, and sunlight gets through to warm us up, but you can't see blue sky. It's kind of odd.
Right.
So we've got a lot of that high cloud cover around, and it'll be around again today, but we should still be in for another warm day today. High temperatures yesterday, 87 in San Antonio. Our average high this time of year is 73, if that gives you some perspective. So we were trending way above average for this time of year. A few spots off to the southwest made it into the low 90s yesterday. It's going to be staying very warm. We'll be back in the 80s today. I think low to mid 80s for the next couple of days, and then cooling down a little bit into the mid 70s Sunday into Monday. Next week, we've got some additional cloud cover and some better chances of rain working into the forecast. That's something to look forward to because we really need to get some rain working in here. As for the weekend, a few showers will be possible. We'll talk in detail, more in detail about that, and also for those better chances of some scattered showers and storms next week. Coming up in the full forecast, that will be along in just a minute. No big weather issues out there this morning. It's cloudy, it's muggy, but we don't have any visibility issues. Certainly no rain out there, so that's making for a pretty pleasant commute if you're going to be heading out early. And so far, the roads have looked pretty good, right? Officer Nick?
Yes, they have looked good. If you look right here on the screen, Katie, a lot of green is always good on the screen. So things are looking good right now if you're heading to work. I think spring break attributes to that, because the whole week the traffic's been very light. It's been good. You've had time to stop and get some food if you want. So I think today we're going for that same route. Everything's looking good out here on the roadway. We got one accident. This one should be getting cleared any minute now. It was westbound Northwest Loop 410 at Vance Jackson. Things are still green there. Things are looking good. I think it's going to be cleared up here any minute. All right, some drive times. We got I-10 westbound from the northwest side of I-35 to 1604, 11 minutes. And 10 eastbound from the northwest side of 1604 to I-35 is 12 minutes. Still some really good commute times. All right, taking a look at the trans guide. 10 east and 410, things are looking good there. 410 and Bandera. Traffic's starting to pick up a little bit. Those eastbound lanes do get picked up there around 637. Just keep that in mind. 10 and 1604 on the northwest side looking good. 1604 in Bandera. Those northbound lanes usually get picked up around 620. So keep that in mind as well. And 10 in Hackberry. That's all looking good. All right, well, I hope you have a great day. And Mark, Leslie, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. 6:03, the coronavirus has already led to cancellations of large-scale events around the globe, and here at home, Fiesta still set to proceed as normal, but that could change.
There are a lot of questions about Fiesta and how the state plans to combat the virus. Max Massey joins us live downtown. And Max, you say we can expect to learn a lot today.
We could expect to learn a lot today. There are two key press conferences set. The first, 10 a.m., and that is Fiesta Commission officials and city officials, and then the governor is set to speak at noon. So let's start with Fiesta because that is the earlier one that we expect to stream live on the KSAT app and KSAT.com. Now, the news conference will be held 10 a.m. outside the commission office on Broadway. The topic of the news conference, the Fiesta 2020 schedule. As of Tuesday, Fiesta still set to proceed as forward, set for April 16th to the 26th, but a lot has changed since Tuesday, and in recent events, that time frame may change. Then at noon, we have the governor. The press conference will take place at noon from the Texas State Capitol. The Texas Division of Emergency Management and the Texas Department of State Health Services Commissioner also expected to speak. Now, Governor Abbott tweeted out yesterday that he had phone calls with more than 1,000 local officials to talk about how collectively as a state we can all collaborate to fight the coronavirus. So today at noon from the Capitol, we do expect to hear more of those plans. Mark, Leslie.
Thank you very much, Max. Well, also being affected by the coronavirus, the McNay press conference that was expected to happen Monday of next week is now postponed. The head of communications and marketing for the McNay Art Museum, Rachel Trevino, says, quote, out of an abundance of caution and care, the McNay will be postponing Monday's 10 a.m. press conference. She adds that she will reach out with a rescheduled date. Mayor Ron Nirenberg was set to announce the Museums for All program accessibility milestone at that press conference.
Well, over in Dallas County this morning, city health officials have filed a declaration of local disaster and a public health emergency. The announcement comes after 5 new presumptive cases of coronavirus was confirmed. It's in addition to the previous 3. In fact, today all community gatherings of 500 people or more are prohibited in Dallas County.
People, it's imperative that the public do their part in following this community gathering order. I know Dallas County is up to the challenge.
Judge Clay Jenkins says that one of the patients has no travel history, domestic or international. New cases range in the ages of 40 to 70 years old. There are currently 2 hospitalized and 3 remain quarantined at home. With the novel coronavirus changing lives around the globe, levels of government are taking precautions as necessary.
But with the 2020 race for president happening right now, candidates have the perfect chance to share how they would lead the nation in a similar crisis. CNN's Whitney Wild has details.
The novel coronavirus is crashing into the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. And while it's changing campaign plans, it is also giving former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders a chance to show how they would lead in a real-life crisis. Thursday, Biden and Sanders released plans for combating the spread of the disease. Biden's plan includes widely available free testing, including mobile test sites, no out-of-pocket payments for treatment, and paid leave for workers impacted by the virus. Sanders' plan echoes some of Biden's themes and includes emergency unemployment assistance to anyone who loses a job as a result of the virus and an immediate moratorium on evictions, foreclosures, and utility shutoffs.
We need smart, bold, compassionate leadership that's going to help contain the crisis reduce the hardship to our people, and help our economy rebound.
It is an absolute moral imperative that our response as a government, as a society, as a business community, and as individual citizens meet the enormity of this crisis.
The Senate is in session next week to take up additional coronavirus legislation. That's something that Bernie Sanders may have to vote on. In the short term, both campaigns have told staff to work from home and canceled planned events. In Washington, I'm Whitney Wild.
New this morning, one man behind bars after surrendering to Cibolo police late last night following an all-day standoff. 34-year-old Robert Ford peacefully surrendered after officers were initially called out to the 200 block of Willow Blood yesterday afternoon. Caller asked for assistance back into the home after it was locked by someone else. While an officer was assisting in the call, assisting the caller to make entry, Ford allegedly fired a single shot toward the officer. He faces a charge of attempted capital murder. More charges may be pending.
Well, also new this morning, one man is recovering in the hospital after he was shot multiple times overnight. San Antonio police say it was just after 12:30 this morning when a 40-year-old man was shot at the Quality Quites on Southeast Military Drive. Suites. Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of that. It's the Quality Suites, everybody. He was reportedly parked in front of the hotel next to another vehicle when the shots were fired. The gunman fled soon after. A person working at the hotel called it in, and the victim was transported to SAMC.
We are still waiting to learn the name of a teen shot and killed in far West Bexar County earlier this week. Officials have named the release of the suspected gunman. Officials say David Rodriguez Jr. has been arrested for manslaughter, second-degree felony. It was at a home in the 11,500 block of Sangria, where a teenager was found dead from his wounds. Investigators have not revealed anything about how that shooting happened.
A San Antonio police officer was taken to the hospital overnight after running into the side of an 18-wheeler. Police say their fellow officer was traveling southbound the AT&T Parkway when he ran into the side of a big rig. He was taken to SAMC with minor injuries, a possible dislocated shoulder, but he's expected to be okay. No other injuries were reported.
In your morning headlines, presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders needing a victory for the upcoming Florida primary. If he wants to stay in the race, millions of people are expected to be watching the race closely. With 219 delegates in the Sunshine State, Vermont Senator said he would stay in the race and debate former Vice President Joe Biden Sunday. Biden's advisors are hoping to have a Florida victory that is so overwhelming that it puts him in a better position than Sanders is still in a state considered a must-win for President Donald Trump.
Overseas in North Korea, leader Kim Jong-un guided yet another artillery fire competition. He was seen not wearing a mask, standing next to the commander of the armed forces and other top party leaders. North Korea has not yet announced any confirmed cases of the coronavirus, but experts believe it is highly susceptible to an outbreak given its close proximity to China and inadequate health services.
6:10, 69 degrees.
Still to come, a secondary effect of the coronavirus and social distancing, as many schools are now closing. Parents are wondering how it's going to work. That's coming up in your GMA First Look.
Are you always running late? The mistakes you're making and tips to help you get to your next appointment on time. That is coming up next here on GMSA.
And taking a look outside with Live Cam. Katie Blake says we have a chance of rain moving in by next week, but we're in still for some warm weather through the weekend. She'll have details.
6:14. Welcome back on your Friday morning. Glad you're starting your day with us here. About 15 to 20% of Americans say they are consistently late to not only appointments, but meetings. And with so many distractions and responsibilities, being perpetually late can be a problem for a lot of people.
GMSA producer Jared Hoeing reports on ways to help you understand why you're late and how to fix it.
Are you in a constant battle with the clock? Being perpetually late can have an effect on your work and social life. One mistake latecomers make, they underestimate the amount of time it takes to complete tasks. Another problem? Multitasking. People who don't like to waste time often want to squeeze in as many tasks as possible, but the result is usually running out of time. Also, if you're more type B, you might perceive time differently. One study found type A people tended to estimate a minute had passed after 58 seconds, while type B people perceived a minute to be 77 seconds. To break the cycle, make being prompt a priority. Try a timekeeping app to help you schedule your day. You can also use an old-fashioned timer to keep you on track. Write down how long tasks should take and stick to your limits. And instead of multitasking, you might want to try cluster tasking. That's doing related tasks at the same time every day, such as checking email and making calls in one block of time. For Good Morning San Antonio, I'm Jared Hoeing.
Now, if you're always late, know this and think about something maybe your grandpa or your father told you. Many business owners believe being on time is actually showing up late.
10 minutes early is considered being on time.
Oh, I can hear my dad right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you're on time, you're late.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir, Major. Right now, 616, 69 degrees.
Let's find out if traffic's going to make you late to work this morning.
No, if you're running late right now to work, you're still going to get there on time. Look at all the green on the screen. Things are looking good. No accidents. I'm looking over there. Everything looks great. We're off to a great start here on Friday. So let's take a look outside of the trans guide. We got 410 in Bandera was looking good. 10 and 1604. Traffic's very light to moderate. There, 1604 at Bandera, same. Usually that northbound lane gets congested by this time and looks good. 10 in Hackberry, that's looking really smooth as well. And 151 and 410, that's starting to get a little congested there. And 281 in Winding Way, those southbound lanes are a little congested as well.
Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so weather-wise, really nothing to halt our plans for the weekend.
No, it should be fine. We're going to keep the clouds around and the humidity as well, but rain really won't start to kick in until we get to next week, and that's some good news because
we need it.
We definitely need it, but the weekend really is not looking too shabby at all. Definitely staying unseasonably warm for this time of year. For your Friday, things will stay cloudy this morning with temperatures upper 60s, low to mid 70s. We'll be around 73 at lunchtime with some of the low cloud cover starting to break up a bit. Well, just like yesterday, we're going to hold on to a lot of that high, thin cloud cover through the course of your Friday, so definitely not a clear sky day, but still some sunlight getting through. High temperatures will be back in the low 80s this afternoon. Even through 10 o'clock tonight, temperatures will be in the low 70s, and it will be staying humid through the evening as well. Live cam looking pretty good out there. No rain. We haven't had any visibility issues either. Just overcast to start your Friday with temperatures upper 60s, low 70s, 70 in Gonzales, 70 also in Cotulla, 63 degrees in Rock Springs. Our dew points are also high, upper 60s, even some low 70s as you get down closer to the coast. But we've had, I think, enough of a breeze this morning that's keeping any of that fog from developing, which is some really good news. We'll take that. That won't slow you down at all this morning. As we head into your Friday afternoon, our dew points will continue to stay elevated, mid to upper 60s. So we're staying in muggy territory there. And through Saturday, things will continue to feel very muggy as well. The only little kind of hitch in the weekend forecast that I'm watching really closely is Sunday, because we have one of our high resolution forecast models bringing a weak cool front down into central Texas and the northern portion of the hill country. And what this would do is bring in some cooler and drier air. You'll notice dew points falling into the upper 50s, which isn't a huge drop, but even that would make things just feel different out there. And if this frontal boundary can get down to us, that could also help to spark some more shower activity as we get into Sunday. So I'm going to continue to watch our forecast models today, even into tomorrow, and see if they can come to a bit more of an agreement on Sunday. But there is the potential that we could maybe even be a little bit cooler than this on Sunday. So we'll continue to keep you updated. You can check the forecast anytime if you've got plans on Sunday. You can check the forecast anytime with the new KSAT weather app. Bottom line this weekend, trending warm and trending pretty humid without a whole lot of rainfall potential. Better chances of rain through the weekend will be up near the I-20 corridor in North and East Texas, where they could pick up a couple inches of rain. Now, the jet stream flow through the weekend is really not helping us out with rain chances. That's why we're not expecting a whole lot, just some isolated showers, because we've got upper level high pressure close to us, and that's keeping a lot of disturbances out of our part of the state. However, as we get into early next week, really beginning on Monday, things will change a little bit such that our jet stream flow becomes a bit more unsettled, and there will be these little, they're kind of really hard. You have to know what you're looking for when you're looking for them. There are these little very subtle little dips in the upper level flow. We call these short waves. And as these move through, they keep clouds around and also bring chances of generally scattered light rain. And that's what we're looking at kicking in Monday, continuing into Tuesday and even Wednesday of next week as some of these little shortwave disturbances move over Texas. So that's why you'll see rain chances go from more straight isolated potential this weekend to becoming more scattered as we get into the early part of next week. Some lightning strikes here, because it's certainly not out of the question that as those short waves move through, they could produce some non-severe thunderstorms. But really what we're looking at is just some scattered rain. rain as we get into the early and middle part of next week. And with that rain and cloud cover, that'll help to keep our temperatures down into the mid to upper 70s as we get into next week. Spring officially begins next Thursday.
Yeah, but Mother Nature just decided to mess with us a little bit.
Just skipped late winter, went right
we're just going to start it early.
Yeah.
Thanks, Katie.
You're welcome.
6:20, 69 degrees.
After the break, what you need to know about distance learning and what it means for schools and students across the country.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it right now on KSAT.com for your chance to win a $25 gift card from We Are Circle K.
Welcome to our Lipton Tea Factory, where these sun-soaked tea leaves are picked at the peak of freshness for a naturally smooth taste. And drinking Lipton every day can help support a healthy heart.
Imagine a world where nothing gets in the way of doing great work. Where an American icon uses the latest HR tools to stay true to the family recipe. Where a music studio spends less time on HR and payroll and more time crafting that perfect sound. Where the nation's biggest party store can staff up quickly as soon as it's time for fun. This is the world of ADP. HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll. Designed for people.
Kim is now demonstrating her congestion.
Save it, Slimeball. I've upgraded to Mucinex.
We still have 12 hours to Australia.
Mucinex lasts 12 hours, so I'm good. Now move.
Mucinex has a patented tablet that lasts 3 times longer for 12 hours.
In this morning's GMA First Look, call it distance learning. As schools around the country begin shutting down for the coronavirus, some districts are experimenting with online instruction.
How am I supposed to get them to concentrate when they're at home?
Schools in Seattle, New York, and San Francisco shutting down. Kids home, parents left scrambling. The Britton family in Northern California, with sons George in first grade and Ned in fourth, among the millions whose schools have closed their physical doors.
You ready? iPads on?
But in this case, kept their virtual doors open.
There's a meeting link for each class. We click on and the lesson's there, the teacher's there in real time.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll explain why the acronym PDF, playtime, downtime, and family time, could be the secret to getting through the next few weeks. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News Oakland.
In the Tech World Today, reports say that hackers are uploading fake maps showing coronavirus hotspots. Once the map is open, users are redirected to a site asking for, you guessed it, personal data. The maps published by Johns Hopkins University, an example of a non-malicious tracker.
Plus, Apple is limiting try-ons for AirPods and Apple Watch to protect customers and workers from COVID-19. Employees are being told not to encourage try-ons. Only shoppers who make a request will be allowed to try on a device. The company has also reduced the number of chairs in stores to promote social distancing.
And keeping virus away from the International Space Station, 1 American and 2 cosmonauts from Russia prohibited from leaving their training center in Russia. They are not due to head to orbit now until April the 9th.
Your time now is 6:26 and it's 69 degrees outside.
Next half hour, a pilot for American Airlines has tested positive. What the airline is doing to make sure Americans can get back to the U.S.
And the local impact of the coronavirus. The number of events being canceled continues to grow this morning, including the Valero Texas Open. What you need to know.
And Nick will have an update on the morning commute. We are off and running. You're watching GMSA.
As of Tuesday, Fiesta was still a go, but that may change. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. We're going to preview a big press conference later this morning.
The official start of spring is right around the corner, and we've got a few shamrocks on the extended forecast as well. Katie Blake will get us updated as we head into your Friday, your weekend, and beyond. Good morning to you, everybody. It is Friday. It is March 13th.
Yay, you made it to Friday,
everybody. We did. Congratulations.
Hoping for a smooth commute on our Friday morning.
Yeah, if you're headed to work right now, there's no accidents to report out there. It's going to be a smooth ride.
Okay, hoping for some good news, maybe a shot at a shower or two from Katie Blake.
Oh, we could use it. Not this morning, so that won't hinder your commute if you're heading out this morning. No fog either, which is good. This weekend, a couple of spotty showers will be possible, but I'm thinking on better rain chances chances beginning Monday of next week. So a good trend heading into next week. But if you've got weekend plans, things should stay dry out there for you. Temperatures this morning awfully warm. To give you some perspective, our average high temperature this time of year, so the temperature that we would normally hit in the afternoon, is 73. A lot of us are very close to that to start off this morning. Low 70s in Floresville, just shy of 70 degrees at the airport. A touch cooler up in the hill country, but it's also very muggy out there. So feeling very, very spring-like this morning with the official start of spring coming next Thursday. Satellite and radar, we've got a lot of cloud cover out there. The green you're seeing on here, just some very, very light ground clutter returns since we're so close to our radar site. It's up in New Braunfels, so no rain out there this morning, but plenty of cloud cover with some lower clouds and some high clouds that really began to fill in from the west yesterday. We're going to keep a lot of that high cloud cover around during the day today. As for this morning, staying pretty cloudy through about mid-morning. As we get closer to lunchtime, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures climbing into the low 70s, and we'll top out back in the low 80s once again this afternoon. Things stay warm through the weekend. We've got a low chance of a shower, but again, I said we've got better rain chances coming early next week. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast, and we'll have all your weekend forecast details. But in the meantime, let's get a closer look at traffic with Officer Nick Solis. Nice out there this morning, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Wait, you know, all week for me, it's been really nice. It's been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It has been slow. I think it's because spring break is really affecting the traffic in a good way. So if you're running to work late this morning, don't worry, you're going to get to work on time. Things are looking good out there. No accidents. 90 and 151 seeing a little bit of congestion, not the usual congestion though, so things are looking good. Let's look at these drive times. All right, from New Braunfels, the city of New Braunfels, to 1604, 16 minutes. And now from the city of New Braunfels all the way to downtown, you add 12 minutes onto that. That is not looking bad at all. Usually it's a lot worse, so I'm telling you, things are looking very smooth right now on the roadways. Let's take a look at the roadways. 37 in Hackberry is looking good. 10 east at Loop 410, still looking really good. A little bit of construction it looks like out there. 410 and Bandera, you got that lane right there clogged up just a little bit. Looks like those eastbound lanes, 10 and 1604. Usually those lanes are a lot more congested around this time. That's looking good. And 1604 Bandera, traffic is moving along. Well, I hope you all have a safe commute to work and an even better day. Mark, Leslie, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. Well, around the country, even here in Texas, we've seen schools, workplaces, and big events close. So what about Fiesta? Right now, San Antonio's biggest party is set for April 16th to the 26th. That could change today. Max Massey joins us live downtown. So we know they're having a news conference at 10. Do we have any idea what they're going to say?
Honestly, not yet. Fiesta and city officials have not really disclosed if they have an updated plan. This is what we know this morning. We know that there is a press conference set for 10 a.m. just outside the Fiesta Commission on Broadway. As of Tuesday, though, San Antonio's biggest party still set to go forward, although the head of the Fiesta San Antonio Commission acknowledged on Tuesday that coronavirus concerns could eventually force Fiesta to be postponed or canceled. Now, today we do expect to hear from Ron Nirenberg, Fiesta San Antonio Commission President Jeannie Travis, and the executive director, who told us earlier this week, quote, "I would hate to see Fiesta canceled altogether. You know, postponement would be a much better alternative," end quote. It is important to mention, though, according to a non-binding online petition on change.org, hundreds of people are calling for city officials to cancel Fiesta because of the coronavirus concerns. More than 600 people have signed on to support the cancellation. Now, not clear whether all of those people who have signed are actually from our area. And as of right now, when I'm speaking to you, Fiesta is set to go on April 16th to the 26th. But like I've been saying, we are expected to learn a lot more throughout the day, and that starts at 10 a.m. Mark, Leslie.
Thank you, Maxwell. A major blow to the San Antonio sports scene and for local charities. Originally, PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan told us yesterday that the Players' Championship, which was already underway, and the Valero Texas Open, more importantly, would be played, but without spectators. Well, later last night, San Antonio time, PGA Tour sent out a tweet confirming the rest of the Players' Championship and all events through the Valero Texas Open have now been canceled wholesale. Here's a portion of the PGA Tour's statement released last night. "We have pledged from the start to be responsible, thoughtful, and transparent with our decision process. We did everything possible to create a safe environment for our players in order to continue the event through the weekend, and we were endeavoring to give our fans a much-needed respite from the current climate. But at this point, as the situation continues to rapidly change, the right thing to do for our players and our fans was to pause." More states banning large gatherings, speaking of, and that's having a huge impact on daily life all across America. Everything from concerts to sporting events on hold, even March Madness.
At least one city has ordered bars to close earlier, and New York, Broadway has gone dark. ABC's Kenneth Moten has details.
From sports to concerts to the theater, billions of dollars are being lost because of the cancellations as the coronavirus spreads. The impact still unclear, but one economist is already predicting the U.S. gross domestic product will drop by 4% this quarter, the worst since the Great Recession of 2008.
We're dealing with an unprecedented situation here. It's a fluid situation, changing minute by minute, and we don't have a blueprint.
This morning's New York Post declaring the day the sports world stopped as leagues cancel and suspend upcoming events, including the NCAA's March Madness. The St. John's Creighton basketball game at Madison Square Garden stopping at halftime after the NCAA's announcement. The NBA suspending its season, the commissioner saying the hiatus will likely last for at least 30 days. The NHL and Major League Soccer also suspending their seasons. Major League Baseball canceling spring training and delaying the start of the regular season. And that doesn't include the lost revenue for stadium concession stands. Theme parks closing. Disney World in Orlando announcing it will close after this weekend until at least the end of March. And on Broadway, the show did not go on. Theaters are closed for at least a month.
One producer has $20 million invested in his show, and he may lose every bit of that.
Concert giant Live Nation halting all large-scale tours until April. And a possible sign of things to come, just outside Manhattan in Jersey City, a 10 p.m. curfew for bars and some restaurants to reduce large crowds. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Also involving coronavirus this morning, American Airlines will continue to operate flights to and from Europe for up to 7 days to ensure Americans can return safely to the U.S. Comes after President Trump announced travel restrictions to the continent and try to curb the spread of coronavirus. In addition, American says it is further reducing the number of international flights. Starting Sunday, Delta will fly a significantly reduced U.S. to Europe schedule. And new this morning, an American Airlines pilot has tested positive for coronavirus, becoming the first at the Dallas-based carrier to be diagnosed with the disease.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says lawmakers are close to an agreement on a coronavirus relief package. Pelosi hopes to have the legislation ready for a House vote today. It reportedly involves enhancements to paid leave, food assistance, and unemployment insurance. The bill would also beef up state Medicaid funding to help with the crisis, and it would make coronavirus testing free for anyone who needs it. Pelosi says it's the first of multiple bills Congress is preparing in order to address the disease.
You know, we here at KSAT, SA is our middle name, and we are always looking out for our community. Here on KSAT.com, we're hosting a live stream to get your San Antonio questions answered about coronavirus. It'll start at 10:30 this morning. We're expecting a lot of feedback. We originally had a second one scheduled for 2:30, but that's been canceled. We're focusing our efforts on the 10:30 one. You can submit your questions starting now. Go to KSAT.com, click on the coronavirus tab at the top of our page. You'll see a link to SAQ and get your queries answered.
And remember, you can head over to KSAT.com and find everything you need to know about the coronavirus. We've dedicated a tab at the top of the website. And just click on it, and it will take you to everything you need to know. That includes canceled events, changes at universities, restrictions on travel, and cases across Texas.
It's kind of become a running list, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
6:39, 69 degrees.
After the break, a couple of local moms talk about their health journey. You don't want to miss their message to moms everywhere. Welcome back. It is now 6:42. Well, all week we have been sharing fun things to do with your kids.
They've been great. The ideas have come from a couple of local moms who have made it their mission to encourage other moms to live healthy and simply.
But it all began with news about a sudden health condition.
From high school to raising children, these two best friends have gone through a lot together, but nothing could have prepared them for life-changing news.
I basically have Stargardt's, which essentially my body is attacking my retinas.
This is what helps you see. It's your central vision, and without it, life could be difficult to navigate.
Essentially, I'm going blind.
I got diagnosed with something called Wegener's,
a vascular condition that limits blood flow to important organs. And while there's no cure, that didn't stop them from taking care of their bodies.
I started using food to take care of myself.
Carol Livingston began to notice an improvement in her vision, and even her doctor was surprised. It's a small part of what made their online community of support called Simply Whole Moms come to life.
Both of us struggle with health concerns, and it felt really overwhelming to us to be able to eat healthy and mother when you're living with a disease that's really affecting your day-to-day life. There are times when you're super discouraged.
Not only was their vision to help others live a healthy lifestyle, it's geared towards mothers who might be feeling overwhelmed. And helping each other out plays a big role.
We've been able to support each other on our journeys, even though they're different.
Hey, we want to remind you there will be a Siempre Celina celebration hosted by KSAT 12. It's scheduled to be at the Rustic April 7th at 5:30, and tickets are now on sale. And also watch KSAT's one-hour special Siempre Celina, celebrating the legacy of the Queen of Tejano. That's April 12th at 9 p.m. right here on KSAT, KSAT.com, and our fabulous streaming app.
Let's check on the roadways and see how your Friday traffic is shaping up. Last day of spring break for a lot of people.
Yeah, last day of spring break, and we were off to a good start, but now we have a couple of accidents here that probably are going to affect some traffic. All right, first one being this one. Eastbound U.S. Highway 90 West at Frio City Road came in as a two-vehicle accident. They're on the shoulder there. It looks like SAPD is on scene. Hopefully we can get this one cleared up. Still green there, so not affecting traffic too bad. Hopefully it is cleared up here in the next minutes. All right, we have another accident. Harry Wurzbach at Eisenhower Road. Now, this is a dangerous intersection in the first place, so please be careful when you're passing this, and it is going to cause some congestion, especially right there on Austin Highway and that area. So yeah, Harry Wurzbach and Eisenhower got an accident there. All right, let's take a look outside. 281 in Hildebrand, traffic's flowing smoothly. 35 in Flores, it's flowing great there too as well. We have 35 and Martin, that's going good. And what else do we have? Let's see, 35 in Flores again. Okay, so traffic is good on 35.
A little bit earlier in the newscast, Katie Blake was talking about the allergens out there, and I know you're not got the count ready to go or anything like that, but I want to bring it up because it's a highly inconvenient time to be suffering from a variety of allergens right now.
Yes, because you have you may sneeze, have a cough, sore throat, something like that, and with everything going on with COVID-19, people are like
hypersensitive about it.
Just have allergies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, important to kind of know, the difference.
Usually with allergies, you don't have the fever.
No.
So that's one of the big things that you can be sure separates them.
Yeah, but it definitely could. The oak will still make you feel pretty crummy.
Did that just happen, or would? Because I didn't even plan this. I just started talking about it. Are you that in sync?
I thought you saw the graphic.
I didn't. Was this really ready?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're actually in sync today.
Or something. What's
happening? I know. I have ESPN. Watch out.
I was so appreciative that you started talking about that.
Oh, okay. It worked out, didn't it?
There we go. Yeah. So this is yesterday's pollen count. We'll get today's in probably shortly after 7 o'clock. As soon as it's in, it'll be posted online on social media, and we'll send out an alert via the KSAT weather app, so make sure you have that ready to go. But oak was high yesterday. Mold, hackberry, and mulberry all moderate, and we are working into the peak of oak season now. So if you've really started to suffer from some allergy-like symptoms, it's no surprise, and it likely is oak, because we're getting into late March, early April, and that's when we typically see our biggest issues with oak here in South Texas. It is warm out there this morning, just shy of 70 degrees. Our dew point is also in the 60s, so very humid southeast winds, just about 5 to 15 miles per hour. We have had a nice little breeze out there at times, and that has kept fog from developing this morning. So smooth sailing for your morning commute when it comes to the weather. Low 70s down on the coast, 67 in Hondo, 64 up in Kerrville. Plenty of cloud cover out there, but no rain falling out of those clouds. A lot of this is that mid and high level cloud cover that has been moving in from the west pretty consistently this week. And you saw a big batch of those thin clouds moving in yesterday afternoon, and that kind of gave us that filtered sunshine look. Sunlight getting through, but the sky didn't look too blue. It looked more gray at times. All of the rain, unfortunately, is well to our north, moving through the Metroplex during rush hour this morning. Rain also working into the Panhandle and then the plains of Oklahoma there. Unfortunately, it's just out of reach, too far north for us. Part of the reason for all the rain off to the north is a frontal boundary that's draped across portions of the deep south into North Texas and central Oklahoma. This will not be moving farther south and helping us out with rain chances at all, but you'll notice some Additional rainfall movement, not necessarily along that frontal boundary, but moving out of the southwest there to the northeast. That's because there is an upper level low pressure system, another storm system sitting over Southern California that continues to push that rain into North Texas for us. All we're really seeing from that is that high thin cloud cover that will be around once again today. As we get into tonight and the weekend, that upper level low unfortunately doesn't move due east. It moves northeast and misses us to the north, keeps better chances of rain in North Texas along the I-20 corridor this weekend. I just have you at a 10% chance of a stray shower tomorrow, 30% chance of a shower on Sunday. That could change a little bit, so I'll need you to keep checking the forecast in regards to Sunday because another front working into North Texas. We have one of our high resolution models, one that typically does okay with temperatures, especially where fronts are concerned, wants to bring this down closer to San Antonio on Sunday. That would bring in some slightly cooler, drier air and could also help us out with better rain chances on Sunday. So I'll keep an eye on that for you and we'll keep you updated. Better rain chances look like a pretty good bet as we get into early next week, beginning on Monday. A series of what we call short waves, these little dips in the upper level flow will begin to move over South Texas. That will usher in some rounds of scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms. This type of setup typically does not yield any sort of severe weather. So rest assured there, you'll see the little lightning icons as we get into the planning forecast, but we're just looking at some nice scattered rain as we get into next week. So some good news. Your Friday, 80 degrees this afternoon, mostly cloudy with a lot of that high cloud cover hanging around through the course of the afternoon. And then there are your rain chances next week, scattered showers, non-severe thunderstorms beginning on Monday, continuing into the middle of the week. It's not going to be raining all day every day there, but we will have some scattered rain potential next week, and that'll be a nice change for us.
I'm hoping it rains at my house.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks.
10 till 69 degrees.
Tomorrow on GMSA, important news for parents. What your age has to do with your child's behavior.
Live cam, news you need to know before you go, and another chat with Nick Solis coming up.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we have full team coverage from all over the country. We'll continue what you've been digging into, these stunning developments in the coronavirus outbreak. Growing concern about the economy and jobs, probably paramount right now, with so many businesses closing down. The lights all around us here. Out on Broadway, sports leagues suspending their season, Disney and Disneyland closing their gates after the Dow had its worst day in more than 3 decades since the Black Monday crash in 1987. Dr. Ashton's on call answering your questions. You'll see it on GMA.
One man is in critical condition after an early morning shooting just outside a San Antonio hotel. Good morning, I'm Max Massey. Investigators working to figure out what led up to this gunfire and who pulled the trigger. Now, this was the scene just outside the Quality Suites around 12:30 this morning in the 3600 block of Southeast Military. We can see at least 7 evidence markers outside the hotel. Police telling us the man was parked in front of the hotel side by side with another white Crown Victoria. Witnesses say that Crown Vic drove off after gunshots were fired, and it appears a hotel worker found the man shot in the parking lot and called 911. Right now, we know that man was transported to the hospital and at last check is in critical condition with multiple gunshot wounds. We do expect to hear more information throughout the day. Reporting downtown, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Fiesta San Antonio Commission will be holding a news conference today.
The news conference will be held at 10 a.m. outside the Commission office on Broadway. The topic will be the Fiesta 2020 schedule, according to officials.
As of Tuesday, the event was still going on, although the head of Fiesta Commission announced that, or rather acknowledged that coronavirus concerns could force it to be postponed or canceled.
We will be live streaming the news conference on our homepage at KSAT.com.
We're at just about 5 till 7.
Now the check on your morning commute with Officer Nick Solis.
Yeah, traffic's definitely lighter than usual all around the city, but I did find out about this accident. Now, this accident right here is actually going to be on the access road of eastbound U.S. Highway 90 West, just past Frio City Road. Shouldn't be affecting traffic too bad, so that's good news there. All right, still working on this one. Harry Wurzbach at Eisenhower Road. This accident was at that intersection there. Looks like wreckers are on the way. And live look at Bandera and 1604. Traffic's very nice.
I feel like traffic this week is like for us in the summer. We always have that week stretch that is
nice and light,
hot. That is just like hot, and this is that week for you.
Definitely this week, yes.
Today it'll be warm and humid, high temperature near 80 degrees, and the warmth and humidity will continue into the weekend. I think my mic is out of battery.
Yep, it happens. It happens.
It's out of battery. Better rain chances next week. Enjoy the weekend.
Heard that.
Great.
Heard that.
We're out of time anyway. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Hey, it's been fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here for GMS 8 9. So see you then.